Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to one and all. Hope you all are doing good. And this is our fourth class, third class of your fourth week. So for our utilization of electrical energy, just we are going to have last two topics to complete your first unit. These two topics are the types of loads, as in the previous class we have seen, and another the last topic is flywheel load equalization. So we will complete by end of this week, within these two classes. So as in the earlier class, just would like to have the outline, what we have learned in the earlier classes. So according to the type of loads we have classified into based upon your loads, we have seen what is meant by a load cycle. That is nothing but when the load is going to be repetitive with a periodic, then the cycle is said to be with the variation of load. Then the cycle is said to be in a load cycle and also named as in a duty cycle. So when coming to the industrial practice, there are various types of loads that depending upon their variation of time. So at starting, at the end of the work, duration of this work is going to be vary with respect to time. So that's why the important thing you have to note while considering this uh, load cycle is every load variation on your motor or your cycle is going to be depends upon the time variation. Okay, this is the one basic representation of your load cycle. Duration of your period of load cycle, the load is going to be vary with the time to time. So as earlier we have discussed, so these are the some of the uh, classifications of your loads that depends upon the time and also with respect to duty cycle. Okay, so when coming to with respect to time, the loads has been going to be classified with as time follows with respect to time as follows. This is the continuous and constant loads, continuous with various variable loads, pulsating loads, impact loads, short time intermediate loads, short time loads. So all these are comes under your classification of loads with respect to time. So there are going to be vary. The loads are going to be vary along with the time changes. So another classification has been done with respect to your load cycle. So how the load cycle or a duty cycle is going to be vary. So here also some three basic classifications has been done to the side of your industrial purpose. So that is continuous duty cycle, short time duty cycle, intermittent duty cycle. So as the name indicates, you can easily define what is in a continuous duty cycle, what is in a short time duty cycle, what is an intermittent duty cycle. So nothing but the continuous duty cycle you can define easily. The load on the motor is going to be run for a long duration. The motor on period is on long duration, so that it attains the steady state temperature. So by this he has classified into two types, that depends upon your constant load and depends upon your load variation. On those two factors, this continuous duty cycle is also going to be vary. So these are the some pictorial representation how the continuous duty is going to be vary with respect to the constant load and with respect to variable load. So these are the some of the machines where we use this continuous duty with constant load, that is conveyor, compressors, fans, etc. These are machines which was going to be run with the continuous at the constant load. So another one subdivision is continuous duty with the variable load cycle. So it is the motor is going to be run, but here one factor you have to remember is the load on the motor is not continuous. That means it is not constant. The load is going to be vary for particular period of time. You are suppose if you say at the time of starting I have kept the load at 10 kilowatts. After some time of run of your motor for the particular purpose, just I'm going to vary the load from 10 kilowatts to some 15 kilowatts or 10 kilowatts to 5 kilowatts. But what will happen? What will happen? The power generated by the motor is going to be vary during that time. This is the thing shown in the your graph. So the P1 is the power with respect to time and load, which was the characters drawn between load and time. For some kilowatts, the power P1 is going to be produced by your motor. Just I would like to have the pen so you can easily understand. You can easily understand this. Yes, see, duration of this time, the motor is going to be produce the power of P1 at a certain load. When it is going on run, at some time, the motor is kept in off position and it has been kept for some time. This is T2 if you consider. At T2, if you have increased the load or if you have kept the load and make the motor to be in the run, it is going to be produce the power P2 duration of time period. This is T2, T3. This is T1, T3, and again it is continuous T5. So that means T1, T3, T5 are the T on periods of your motor. That is, your motor is on position, and T2 and T4 are both are in off position. Okay. Next, second classification is your short time duty. That means the name indicates the duty cycle or the load on your motor is going to be run for a short time duration. The load occurs on the motor is in the small intervals and remaining time the motor is going to be kept as an idle. So this is the pictorial representation. When coming to the third classification, intermittent duty. This is nothing but it depends upon both the on period and off period of your motor. So you have to, while we are calculating the duty cycle of this intermittent duty of this classification, you have to consider both the T on period and T off period of your motor. Then only we are going to consider the time period of your motor. So from these two factors, these two terms T on and T off, we have derived one duty ratio. That is nothing but T on by total time period. Total time period. In the last class I have said total time period is nothing but T on plus T off. T on plus T off. Okay. So all these things I have seen. So now our next stepping topic to the continuation of the above topics is the rating of motor is depends upon the type of loading. So for above loads variations, that is continuous duty, short time duty and intermittent duty, for those duties the rating of motor is going to be determined by various methods. Here we have seen the some various methods. So before learning these methods, it's very easy to learn and understand. So before going to this method, why we have to use these methods? My question is, why we have to use these methods? So because previously we have seen some of characters and some of methods to run your motor. That is starting characteristics, running characteristics, and speed control of your motors. That is some depends upon the classification of field control methods and armature control methods. And we also seen the one of the important factor while selecting your motor or rating in a motor is in a temperature curve and the that is nothing but heating curve and cooling curves. So the raise of the motor is determined by finding the heating and cooling curves of your motor. So based upon the thing, we are going to employ some methods for determining your rating of your motor. That based upon your type of duty cycles. That may be in a continuous duty. There's a continuous duty with a constant load or a variable load, short time duty or intermittent duty. So how these methods are going to be happen? First one is your equivalent current method. This is nothing but whatever the actual current you have going to supply for your motor is going to be replaced with is the equivalent current method. There's nothing but I equivalent. So what happens by making this actual this equivalent current is going to be replaced in the place of actual current, where nothing but it will produce whatever the losses occurs during the actual current passes to the motor is going to be happen at the equivalent current method. So how does load cycle is going to be happen? Please check it out. Here, this is the curve which was drawn between the current and time. So from previous classes, I am saying this, I am repeating the word with respect to time, with respect to time, with respect to time. Yes. So each and every duty cycle or load cycle depends upon the time duration of your load. Time duration of your load. That's why here, see, check it out. This is a one graphical representation of your equivalent current method. The load is going to be vary with respect to time, with the time, with some values of current. At I1 duration of T1, it is going to be run, and this is the T on up to T1. From T1 to T2, it is going to be run with some amount of current I2. Again increase and amount of current I3. This is gone for n number of connections up to IN. So from this, we please note down this graph roughly so that you can have the problems on this. So from this graph, the equation of your current equivalent current method can be defined as like this. That is nothing but the current, the load on the motor is equals to the root mean RMS value of your current. Either it may be a torque or power or current. It can be written as like this. I equivalent is equals to square root of I1 square T1 plus I2 square T2 plus I3 square T3 plus so on IN square plus T2 by total time period. Total time period means in the graph itself, we can represent T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus so on Tn. So this is the equation which we are using to solve your current method for the different duty cycles. It may be in a continuous duty or a variable load. So all these three methods, whatever we are going to learn, always going to be have in a variable load only. There are no any continuous, just only continuous duty, but the load is going to be vary. Okay, please note down this equation. Please note down this equation. I equivalent equals to square root of I1 square T1 plus I2 square T2 plus I3 square T3 plus so on IN square Tn plus T1 plus T2 plus T3. That is nothing but the total load is equals to RMS value, root mean square value of your total load variation. Okay, this is your current method. Next, we will step into the equivalent power method. So here is nothing but in this method, you are going to have the load cycle which was given in the horsepower or the kilowatt. Also, we have going to calculate this characteristics between the power and your time with respect to time. So based upon these two terms, we are going to have the motor rating. We can easily find directly by this some simple problem. So let us show the load cycle first of all. So please check this continuous variable load cycle. The power is going to be delivered by your motor duration of your run and off positions, duration of your time period T1, T2, 3, so on to Tn. So there you have in the previous one also you have the same things. but here you have represented within a dotted line to have the value of T1 and T2, T3. Here just we have remain like this. So from this graph, you can easily calculate the same. Here in the previous method, we have considered, please don't consider this equation. I will explain to you when the equation arrives. Just the representation has been forwarded. So for this load cycle, the equation of your motor rating, the classification is going to be calculated by the of your various loads is done by this formula from this one. Here in the previous slide, we have considered I1, I2, I3, I4, so on, IN. But in the power method, we are going to calculate the P1, where the motor is going to be generate the power duration of time T1. So the motor rating is nothing but, I have earlier told that the motor rating of your motor is always depends upon the RMS value. Root means square value of your load. Root means square value of your load. That is, motor rating is always depends upon the RMS value of the load. Whatever the load you have considered, that is going to be taken. RMS value of the load. Therefore, the same as the current method. In the current method, the power in this power method also we can have the same. Instead of I1, I2, I3, you have placed just P1, P2, P3, P4. P1, P2, P3, so on, so same thing. Please note this equation in the equivalent power method. So here my next thing is, in this power method, if I change the load uniformly, then the load cycle is going to be vary like this. Please check this graph. Please check this graph. Here, what I am doing, just I am going to change your load uniformly. Just I am keeping 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Just for an example, I am saying it may be that depends upon your work at the industrial side. That not only the 10 kilowatts, 20 kilowatts. Just we have started from like this. Initially here for the load of cycle 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 like this. So for that, I'm going to vary this load uniformly. Then the load cycle has been varied when compared to the above load cycle. So here the variation is the slant, the inclination, the slope of your load. This can be considered as a slope y is equal to mx plus c. It has been represented. We can easily understand this. So again, the load has been changed uniformly. For each and every load of your time basis, the power is going to be generated, thus P0, P1, P2, P3. So again, here it is going to be have the slope variation. So just check the equation, the motor rating from this load cycle, we can written as, so earlier I said RMS value of the load, the motor rating always depends upon the RMS of the load. Therefore, square root of 1 by 3 P1 square T1 plus P2 square T2 plus P0 square T3 plus, why? Because here whatever the values you have taken is mentioned as in a P0, P1, P2. So duration of T2, please hold on, just power off.